One of the films opening for Christmas is Dune, the screen version of Frank Herbert's bestseller. It was produced by Rafaella de Laurentiis, daughter of Dino, directed by David Lynch, whose previous claim to fame was The Elephant Man, and is one of the most expensive movies ever made. Production costs finally total $45 million. How can you spend that much on a mere film? Anyway, the stars are Sting, Francesca Annis, and a newcomer, Kyle MacLachlan. It's a futuristic fantasy which relies heavily on special effects, to say nothing of a complex plot which takes place over 4 distinctly different planets. Caladan, the planet blessed with water and trees; Arrakis, known as Dune, the barren desert planet which conceals great power; Kaiti, home of the powerful emperor of the known universe; and Gedi Prime, the gritty, industrialized planet of the evil Harkonnen. The man responsible for the look of Dune was production designer Tony Masters, who has more than 80 films to his credit.
I thought this has to be the picture that I've got to do. It's a big design picture. And I thought that there was such a variety of things to do. We had to design everything from the knife and fork up to the biggest of the palaces. So it was intriguing.
His sketches were converted into models for scenes which couldn't realistically be filmed full size, and for Dune, literally hundreds of models were built. Masters' ideas were also the basis for mechanical models and even some miniatures, which were used in conjunction with live actors. But although these were all Masters' own designs, the ideas were the result of a collaboration with David Lynch.
Tony's problem with working with me is that I've got all these ideas, and he has to sort of tune into me.
For Masters, this meant painting a lengthy array of conceptual pictures for the many different elements and worlds of Dune.
Everything has to come out of your head. You can't go to shops and buy books to see what the architecture's like 2,000 years from now, so you just have to make it up.
Although there are other special effects creatures, the monsters which arouse the most interest are the legendary sandworms, the guardians of Dune's desert.
People know that I'm working on Dune. The question I get all the time is, how are you going to do the worms?
To achieve the illusion of these 1,000-foot worms required a fair amount of ingenuity. The actors, performing in front of giant blue screens, pretended they were being attacked. Later, in the film lab, the screens were replaced by the rampaging worms, thus giving a complete scene. For some actors, such as Francesca Annis, who plays Lady Jessica, acting to a menacing, imaginary foe was a new experience.
More than anything, its size was the most difficult thing to come to terms with. I mean, this is no ordinary worm.
One of the first locations the crew travelled to was the desert in Juarez, Mexico. 300 workers spent 3 months clearing away bushes, stones and cactus over 25 square miles to make a pristine desert.
This place was covered with bushes. And now, see, they've cleaned it all off. And then there was footprints all over the place, but then 2 nights ago, they had this huge storm, and the wind came in, and now it's just the perfect time to be here.
While technicians were preparing a simulated windstorm, Kit West, the supervisor of special effects, was nervously overseeing the setting of explosives for a large battle scene. What made this rather dangerous sequence particularly difficult was the inexperience of the extras and the language barrier.
The majority of the extras were Mexican army, and naturally these boys have never experienced anything similar to this. When you get 2,000 or 3,000 people running, there's always somebody who might think it's quicker to go to the right instead of going where he's told he's to go, and then we're in trouble.
Okay, David? Go.
Action!
I'm assured that no extra came to any harm during the filming. Mind you, since they're only people, I don't suppose anyone cares much. Ah, but if they'd been animals. Anyway, I'll be reviewing Dune next week.